If I'm Bob Iger, you know what we're doing? Emergency meeting. We're putting Snow White on hold for 2 years, and guess what?
Smart.
Pay her a couple $1,000,000, go away. We're going to bring another person to play this role.
I'm sure a lot of people will assume it's a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Was it a meltdown, a statement of principle, or the slickest Houdini act since Depp fled Pirates? Overnight whispers say Rachel Zegler told her reps she's done with studio films. No press release, no teary Instagram live. Just a vanishing act that left Hollywood hunting for her like she'd offed the entire Seven Dwarfs union. Paparazzi staked out her West Village walk-up. Disney's crisis team supposedly combed through her contract hunting for a no-quit clause. And fans? They sprint tweeted every theory from she's pregnant to she's staging a Joaquin Phoenix-style rap career. The vacuum felt deliberate, as if Zegler wanted us squirming in suspense before she hit play on her next headline. But the silence only amplified the big, ugly math that followed. Opening weekend numbers landed with the subtlety of an anvil. Snow White reportedly swallowed $350 million in production and promotion, but dragged home a measly $43 million domestic and another $87 million overseas.
She's now bragging about the success of Snow White, which is a movie that's going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and mainly because of her and because nobody wanted to support her.
Vanity Fair called it the sharpest cliff jump from budget to box office in Disney remake history. And CNBC analysts groaned that merchandising forecasts cratered by 50% in 48 hours. Execs blamed release window competition. But honest insiders admitted what your grandma already knew after one doom-scrolling session. The movie's marketing was a flaming trash barge glued to Zegler's own quotes about creepy princes and outdated fairy tales.
She hated Snow White, mocked the fact that there was a prince, and that she falls in love as opposed to leaning into her own power.
The second those receipts leaked, social media swarmed with brutal side-by-side charts, animated Snow White's 1937 profits, adjusting for inflation towered over the 2025 remake like the Magic Kingdom over an abandoned theme park parking lot. And that fiscal faceplant sent Bob Iger sprinting into damage control mode faster than you can shout, "Hi-ho, we're broke." People in pressed suits claim Iger dialed a pre-dawn emergency call with board members, merch partners, and 2 tortured PR firms.
They've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now.
The agenda? Whether to yank Snow White from next year's Disney Plus slate, freeze all tie-in dolls, and here's the bomb, greenlight a full recast if reshoots ever materialize. Lawyers mentioned brand dilution more than once. Accountants muttered about writing off the losses, Fast X style. And one exec allegedly dropped the phrase, creative malpractice, before their mic went suspiciously quiet.
Rachel Zegler made it so hateable that you really sabotaged and took hundreds of millions of dollars from the studio. I don't know how anyone would ever want to go into business with her ever again.
Meanwhile, a tech-savvy intern live texted the chaos to a friend who screenshotted the play-by-play. And that thread leaked onto Reddit faster than you can spell shareholder lawsuit. By lunchtime, Variety posted a sober headline. Disney board weighing all options after Snow White's soft opening. Translation? The House of Mouse was chewing its own tail. Wall Street felt the bite by Monday. Disney stock slipped almost 4%, trimming roughly $6 billion from its market value and inspiring a stampede of think pieces titled Go Woke, Go Broke 2.0. Bloomberg summarized the mood. Family investors feared brand toxicity, while hedge fund sharks smelled blood. Traders pointed to Zegler's social media collisions as the primary driver. A reputational storm scaring off parents who just wanted a holiday matinee and a $15 popcorn. One brokerage memo flat out warned, Disney must isolate the talent liability or risk prolonged equity depreciation. Translation in simpler words, fire the star or watch the stock bleed. Right on cue, Zegler's Twitter feed detonated. First came a fiery defense of her feminist take on Snow White.
This weird feminist thing where her heroine cannot be in love or be saved by a man, the prince, that she's more focused on becoming the leader she was meant to be, as if women in modern-day America must make that choice.
Then a fresh Free Palestine post that overshadowed every box office stat. Then a vanish. Account deactivated, poof, like she'd OD'd on the backlash and hit the off switch. In that vacuum, Fire Zegler trended alongside I Stand With Rachel, turning the comment threads into a digital steel cage match. Fans spammed dwarf emojis. Haters spammed clown ones. Even neutral bystanders got whiplash. Should they criticize her politics, her performance, Or Disney's tone deafness? The algorithm, of course, just licked its chops and devoured the outrage for breakfast. While the timeline screamed, Hollywood's casting offices quietly crossed her name off 2 streaming dramas. Insurance underwriters tagged her profile with reputational risk, a kiss of death code that hikes production premiums. Sources inside CAA whispered she'd been nudged toward a London West End revival to rehab her public image. Safer crowds, shorter tabloids, no dwarfs. One veteran producer quipped to The Hollywood Reporter, "She may earn standing ovations on stage before she earns another studio greenlight." Savage, but not wrong. Back in fandom land, the battle lines hardened. A petition demanding Disney cut ties pulled 150,000 signatures in less than a week, cluttering congressional spam filters because supporters mistagged their emails as legislative grievances. In parallel, TikTok edits of Zegler belting "I'm wishing" racked up 500 million loops, proving she still owns a vocal range that could shatter glass, or at least Twitter's patience.
And if she hadn't have opened her mouth, I think that this movie might have done well. They might have just been able to ride on the hopium of the movie and some well-cut trailers, and people would have paid to go see it, and then it would have fallen off when people knew it was garbage.
The divide had transformed from plain controversy into a full-blown proxy war over Disney's soul. Should fairy tale updates kneel to modern ideals or bow to nostalgia? Nobody agreed, but everyone was shouting. Analysts at Forbes piped up with a spicy, contrarian view. Disney, not Zegler, engineered this wreck by chasing half-baked remakes instead of new stories. Yet other commentators shot back that Zegler's own mockery of the 1937 classic, her jab about a prince who stalks a girl in a forest, hand-delivered ammunition to the culture war cannons.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
Either way, she became the lightning rod that kept the narrative sizzling hot. Every time the company tried to pivot to Gal Gadot's magnificently villainous cheekbones, some influencer reposted Zegler's feminist rant, and the cycle restarted. Even the dwarfs felt ghosted, replaced by CGI placeholders.
Yeah, we had more dwarfs than we did viewers in most of these theaters. And as you know, there were no dwarfs other than some CGI weird generated version of them. It's the old, it truly is go woke, go broke.
And a single actual little person actor who publicly complained on X that he'd been token-sized. The whiplash was real. So what's next for the would-be princess turned headline magnet? Some insiders swear she's in talks for an A24 indie where she plays a canceled child star, art imitating life for brand rehab points. Others claim she's lining up a concept album, leaning on that Broadway-honed belt to drown out critics. A third whisper has her scoping influencer deals, luxury skincare, vegan sneakers, a snowflake perfume, monetizing outrage while Hollywood's gates stay locked. The only certainty is that Disney is licking its wounds, recalculating whether to lean into safer reboot territory or stall all remakes until the storm passes. If you're still hunting for a neat moral, sorry, this circus refuses to pack up. Rachel Zegler may swerve onto a stage, a Spotify playlist, or a TikTok cooking show before the year ends, but the fallout she ignited will haunt boardrooms and message boards long